You're listening to the Savoir Faire audio experience.
Are you ready?
The Savoir Faire experience is your guide to everything that has to do with lifestyle. From dating, rides, style, and entertainment. All brought to you by the editor of Savoir Faire magazine, Robert White. Anything goes on this audio experience. So, let's go.
It's still the best.
All right, guys, welcome to the Savoir Faire audio experience. Thank you guys for subscribing and listening to us on all the platforms that we are on all over the place. Really appreciate our subscribers that are hitting us up on savfair.com, obviously, and checking out our content there. As usual, we like to bring you people from all walks of life and interview all kinds of cool people from everywhere. And clearly, the dating scape is one of those conversations we have a lot with Savoir Faire in our relationship category. So meeting with dating coaches and talking to the professionals about some of this stuff is a really big piece for us. So today we're talking with Christy Kerns. How are you, Christy?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And so Christy works with a company called Luma, Luma. She's the VP of Client Relations over there. She's been doing this for a while. And I'm really excited to kind of just chit-chat with you a little bit about matchmaking as an industry, how the dating pool kind of can, start thinking about matchmaking more than dating apps. I really want to try to challenge some of this stuff with you today. So the first thing I want to do, though, Christy, while I have you, is I like to build a little bit of profile about the people I'm talking with. So maybe you can give me just a little bit of your background and kind of what you've been doing for the last, 25 years of life and this industry and other things that you've been doing as well.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So I have been a matchmaker for 26 years now. I started when I was quite young. It's the only career I've ever had. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's the best job in the whole world. And I have worked with April Davis, our founding matchmaker at Luma Matchmaking, for the last 7 years. And at Luma, our goal is to help singles. We have amazing single men as well as single women who they're all on a journey to find their special person. Most people who come to us, they're at the point in their life where they feel life is better when they have the right partner to share it with.
Okay, I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean, everyone that's single is out looking eventually. And there's obviously a lot of stereotypical things that happen in dating. And, oh my gosh, I'm in this scene right now, unfortunately, and it's challenging. So, I mean, I have my own little hiccups and things that I'm kind of dealing with too. Talk to me a little bit about, and I'm always curious about this from an entrepreneurial kind of aspect. So maybe talk to me a little bit about matchmaking as an industry and really kind of what are the things that you're looking for in specific clients and how does the whole system really work?
Mm-hmm. Well, we interview all of our clients who come to us to make sure not only that they're single and they're serious, but that they're at a good, healthy point in their life. Timing is really so important when it comes to us embarking on this journey together. We want to make sure that they've dealt with past hurts, past relationship issues that they've been through, and now that they're at the point in their life where they're really ready for a fresh start. We create a complete profile on our clients. We cover their values, their interests, hobbies, things they enjoy doing, things they're passionate about. We also spend a lot of time talking about what hasn't worked for them in the past. What are some of the issues, some of the problems or frustrations they've run into when it comes to dating or their last relationship. And all of that really helps us as we create the profile and come up with a game plan as far as moving forward and starting the journey to find the best relationship they've ever had.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. What's kind of the, besides kind of screening the customer and then building the profile, what is the match system? How does that work within your company, or is this something prioritized that you don't want to talk about? How are you getting your people to connect and match?
Yeah, well, we have over 100,000 singles in our database from all over the country. And these are individuals who've come to Luma. They're not paying proactive clients because anyone can submit their profile for free and be in our singles database to see if they might be a good match for one of our clients. And in part, that's why we're so successful at what we do. When we are doing a tailored search for one of our clients, we have so many different individuals to choose from. Each match that we would introduce a client to, they're all screened, they're all vetted. We ask them the same type of questions that we ask our clients because we want to find that strong commonality. We want to find someone who's going to have similar goals, similar passions, similar outlooks on life, really finding a partner who's like-minded, someone you can have fun with, someone you can enjoy life with. All of that is going to build for a really good, stable foundation.
Okay, so the idea that you guys let people sign up to be in the database is kind of cool because not only is that free, but it's allowing you to really kind of pinpoint what your clients are looking for because you guys have such a large database of people, which is nice, right? I mean, now you don't have to go scroll through social media or on some crazy dating app, which is basically the same thing. Okay, we're going to go read through profile after profile. If I could go to some place and I could type in, and this doesn't exist, I don't think, except with you guys, the way you're talking about it, I could type in all of the little things that I truly want in a partner, and only 5 profiles would populate. Only 5 great matches would populate. That would be amazing because now you've got 5 people you can reach out to and you have so much in common that you could communicate about all kinds of stuff, and eventually that might just be like, yep, we should meet. This makes sense. I feel like that's the way that most of it should work. I mean, the difference between a matchmaker and a dating app, from my perspective, truly is that you guys are very skilled at what you do and trying to find matches, and your goal is very similar to like wanting to get people connected so you can have a really great story for people. Like so-and-so, John and Jennifer met through us, and they've been married for 5 years now. That's a great thing for your business. And dating apps, that's not the way it works. There are no dating app, not a single dating app is made for marriage-minded people. It is all meant for you to spend money trying to meet multiple people, do multiple dates, go through the whole process. It's really a negative aspect to the dating field, in my perspective, but I'm sure it's also in your guys' perspective as well, because you guys are really fighting against this. This is the uniqueness of this industry. I always see the dating apps versus the matchmakers, and it almost needs to be a flag football game so we can really figure out who's right here. So So I think that makes a lot of sense, right? I'm sure you guys agree.
Yeah, and so many of the clients who come to Luma, quite frankly, a lot of them, they have tried the dating apps and they really just got burned out on them. I forget the statistics. It's somewhere between 5% and 7% of people who do the dating apps actually find a meaningful, long-lasting relationship. So it's a small number. It's really quite shocking. But a lot of people, they realize there's so much time that goes into it. A lot of people just get addicted to the swiping left, swiping right. It's all very superficial. And even if it happens to lead to a date where they meet someone who's very interesting, there's the attraction, they have great conversation, a lot of times people have in the back of their mind, well, what's next? What will be the next person? What will they be like? Yeah. With matchmaking, it's completely different. People who come to us are very intentional. They don't want to just aimlessly date and meet a ton of different people. They know who they are. They know what they're looking for. And when they find that person that they have the good communication, that great connection with, there's that attraction, they don't want to just jump and see, okay, who's next? They really want to spend time cultivating that relationship to see where things go.
I think you just nailed it. That's gonna be the clip of the day. I'm gonna take that thing you just said, and we're gonna blitz it all over the place, because that's what people really need to kind of hear in that aspect. I mean, do you know what the percentage is of people that are successful with matchmaking compared to dating apps? You said 5% for dating apps, but do you know what it is for matchmaking?
I can tell you what it is with our company.
Perfect. Go
Luma.
ahead.
Yeah, Luma Matchmaking. We have an 85% success rate.
Wow.
getting our clients into meaningful, long-lasting relationships.
What a great goal. That's not just having dinner with somebody. You guys are really making sure it
No,
works.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. No, I love that. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing those numbers, because it really kind of elevates the game a little bit when you can hear stuff like that. Yeah, I
hmm
mean, I think that the dating scene, and I think you and I are kind of in the same range of age. The dating scene is
hmm
miserable because I have been through it all. I've lived life. I was married once. I've got kids. There's things that are now
Yeah.
a part of me that I can't change. And so I'm looking for like 8 really great qualities, and I pretty much know what those things are. So being able to
Yeah.
come into a situation where I don't have to keep swiping left on and right on dating apps and continually going out and buying dinner, and I feel like I'm still very traditional in my
hmm
values and with dating. So as a guy, this costs me money more than just the
hmm
$35 a month for the dating app, right? And so,
Yeah.
I'm buying dinner after dinner, and I'm having conversation after conversation, and then you're absolutely right about that little trigger in the back of your head, like what am I missing is always kind of there. Like, do I
hmm
want to settle for this situation when I know there's something else? And I feel like that is the part of the dating apps that keep people going back, going back. That's the addictive piece of it. And when you finally find the right person, you're like, I think you get like tunnel vision when you find the right person. No, you don't see anybody else after that. And
hmm
that seems to be the goal of Luma and really matchmaking in general, is like, we want to give people tunnel vision, find them one really great person and give us that success story.
Exactly. And I think a big problem with the dating apps is they want to keep people addicted. They really don't want their clients getting into relationships because then they lose a customer.
Mm-hmm.
It's much better just kind of dangling the carrot in front of them. Okay, you had a great date with Sheila. You had a lot of fun with her, but what's Mary like? What's the next one like? It's always the next one.
Yeah,
So
that's
with
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so what we're doing, we're not just trying to get our clients out on dates. Yes, you have to do some dating in order to find the best match possible, but we're going to be there every step of the way with our clients. All of our matchmakers, we're also certified life coaches, and there's a lot of coaching that's involved. And one thing that we're going to do is after our client has a date, we're really going to spend a lot of time talking about it, breaking it down. How did they feel? How did they interact with one another? And if it was a great date, if it was a good connection, we're strongly going to encourage, of course, a second date. Second dates oftentimes lead to third dates. Before you know it, a beautiful relationship is blossoming. And
Mm-hmm.
in the end, that is so much more fulfilling than just going the dating app route, date after date, looking to see who's next.
Yep, I totally agree with you. There is a study that I paid attention to that was recently kind of put out into the world, and it was really kind of built for marketing agencies, because that's another world that I'm involved with too.
Mm-hmm.
And it really talked about the psychology of people and how we respond based on the amount of time we spend with somebody. For example, like
Right.
the people that you work with, those become deeper connected relationships. The people you're around in your family, they obviously become deeper connected relationships. And so being with someone for 2 hours and getting a feel of who they truly are is almost
Mm-hmm.
not doing justice by saying, you know what, there's this little thing that was a little off, but like, I do want to see you again. And playing the time game, I feel like there should be, um, an amount of hours or something that you could put in before you could truly figure out if this person's just not for you. And what I've found in like a lot of dating things is trying to figure out, there's a transition process, and this is more of a guy code type of thing maybe, but it's more about, okay, we connected on a dating app. We learned a little bit about each other. There's the 100 question phase where you're just trying to learn. And finally you get someone's phone number. And then for me, it's like, I want to talk to you on the phone. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel that connection. I want to something a little bit more real. Then we'll make plans for dinner, which might be, weeks later or something, based on
Right.
busy life schedules. And you go to dinner and there's just something there that doesn't click. And then, like you said, people are off to the next. But in my perspective, I'm like, okay, I try to break that process down, and you can possibly educate me on this. because I've decided, okay, my first step is, yes, I'm looking for a relationship. I'm very upfront about that. I want a long-term relationship. That's my goal. But just in case that doesn't happen for us, let's just work on a friendship. Let's just spend time together. Let's put ourselves in situations where we appreciate each other a little bit more, and then figure out where it goes. So I'm not doing first dates. I'm doing like, let's get coffee and become friends. I'm not really doing first dates unless it really clicks. So, I mean, give me your perspective on what I just said.
I love that. And that is advice I oftentimes give to my clients. A lot of times people can put too much pressure on a first date. And I'm a firm believer if we can take more of a lighthearted, fun approach, like what you just said, focusing on, is this a friendship? Is this a person I can see myself being friends with? Are we able to talk easily? Does it just feel right? Are we comfortable in one another's presence? That is perfect. And I'm also a firm believer that when you can establish that friendship on your first date, you like each other enough, you plan a second date, a lot of times the chemistry and the fireworks, so to speak, that happens later on. And if you can end up falling in love with a friend, someone you already like, that's perfect. Then you have a really good, healthy foundation.
Yeah, I would say to add another layer to that is that I don't even call it a date. I understand it's a date. Like, you're going to go spend time with this person. And there's a part of, being very chivalrous and kind of being, opening the door for her and buying dinner and that kind of stuff. Very traditional kind of perspective in my generation, at least. Maybe not in other generations these days, but at least in mine. And it's really about, let's just wipe away some of the stress and not have this have to impress somebody, have to talk about stuff. Because I think people stumble when they're not comfortable. And I don't want that to be a situation. We don't need liquid courage in some situations. That's a thing that people talk about, but we just need, we just need to relax and have a good time and do something that's a little abnormal. So for me, it's like, I'll meet someone at a coffee shop and we'll just sit and have coffee and talk about life a little bit. And when there's that little trigger in me that says like, yeah, this person is something I want to spend time with, then I'm like, you know what? Why don't we go play mini golf? Why don't we go to the driving range? Why don't we go do something else that's like going to give us an option, even just walking through a park or go see some new art exhibit or whatever. But like in that day, that's kind of my feel. It's very slow and very calm and quiet, and it's not aggressive. I'm not trying to like push myself on anybody's world. I'm just saying, this is who I am. Could you potentially want to spend more time with me? And even if after that day is over, I'm not really a date. After that's over, then I might be like, hey, I'm going kayaking Friday. Would you like to come? That's really the way that I'm presenting, like, let's spend some more time together.
Right. Oh, I love that. And one of the things we do with our clients, Luma's very big on, we plan the dates for our clients. And we always like to, instead of just doing the traditional dinner date or getting together for lunch, we like to plan very interesting and unique activity dates. And it can include, there's so many different things, and we plan dates where they go kayaking together, or they go on a dinner cruise, they go to this beautiful museum, all sorts of different things. Axe throwing, that's a popular one.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But doing something where you can just enjoy being active, being out in, whatever it is you're doing together. And a lot of times people find that takes the pressure off of the date or off of just the activity of spending time together.
That makes sense. Talk to me about like the dating scape of like 2025. What have you guys learned from the way people are actually connecting, and what are some of the positive and negative things you've kind of seen, in just the regular common people running into each other at the grocery stores and having to come up with one-liners or dating apps, like everything included. What do you see kind of happening?
You know what I see a lot of people before they actually come to a matchmaker, a lot of people are just getting frustrated because not only is dating very expensive, to me, the bigger concern, even more so than the money that's required, it's the time. Time is the one thing we can never get back. And there are so many people who are frustrated saying, I thought this was a great potential. I thought this was the one. And then I invested, months of my life. And then all of a sudden we hit a roadblock. There were the big red flags. And now I'm back to square one. Now it's starting over again. And people just don't want to waste the time anymore. A lot of people are, I see this with a lot of the guys who come to us. A lot of times they can feel like our world is such where it's not really comfortable just to go up and approach a woman, someone they've never spoken to before, even if they find her very interesting, very attractive. It's hard. How do you know? Number one, how do you know if she's really single? How do you know if she might be interested? How do you know if she has the values, the goals, the really important things that are imperative to having a good, healthy relationship? So there's a lot of the unknown that is very frustrating. And then on the flip side, I see when the clients that we work with, one of the things that put them to ease right in the beginning is so many of the question marks, they're already answered. Because the matchmaker does the vetting, we get to know the matches. And we might have to screen 10 to 40 different potentials to get one yes, one person who, yes, this is a great person to introduce our client to, because we've already answered the questions. We already know she's on his level. She fits not only what he's attracted to, she's his type, she has similar goals, she has similar interests, she is going to complement his personality. She is, she has the things that are very important to him. And so we'll put them on a date, and it just makes it so much easier. Also, the other thing I find that is really, this makes a huge difference, is a lot of times when two people first go on a date, especially first dates or a get together, a lot of times they interpret things differently. And we get this when we're reviewing the feedback. After we introduce our clients, she's going to share her thoughts on the date. He's going to share his thoughts. If there were any areas of concerns, they're going to let the matchmaker know that so that we can follow up with each person. And it's so interesting how sometimes one person will say, I rate the date a 10. It was great. We had so much fun. We closed the place down. Everything was wonderful. No concerns whatsoever. And then the other person, they come up with some concerns. There were some things maybe that were said that they didn't know exactly how they felt about it. And a lot of times it's literally just how we interpret things. So instead of the person saying, well, I don't think I'm going to give them a chance, I'm not going to go out with them again because of this one thing that came up on the date that I'm really not sure how I feel about it. What we're able to do as the matchmakers, number one, we're able to do some investigating and go and talk to the client and ask him, when you said this, what exactly did you mean about that? And a lot of times it was something completely innocent, no bad intentions whatsoever. And we're able to encourage both parties to give the date another chance to go out again. And oftentimes they do. Second date is oftentimes so much better than the first date, leads to the next one, so on and so forth. So
Makes
really
sense.
having a matchmaker that third party involved, it really does make such a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that's cool too. I mean, it's always good to have a moderator in most situations.
Right.
Have you learned a little bit about, okay, so those little situations that happen on first dates when someone, maybe they even said something they thought was funny, but somebody else didn't. And at this point, the person that didn't think it's funny or something was just done. Like, that's it. How do you guys get past some of those spots to encourage? Is there like, I mean, there has to be some clients that are just a pain in the butt in your industry.
There are some clients that are more challenging than others. But you know what? We love our clients dearly, even the ones that are challenging. It is literally like winning the lottery. when we have a client, especially one who maybe they've been cantankerous, they've been frustrated, and then boom, we hit the nail on the head and we get to celebrate with them. Mission accomplished. You didn't think we were going to find her? Well, guess what? We did. That is literally the best feeling in the world.
That's very cool. Let me talk to me a little bit about the how far you guys reach. Where are you based right now?
Luma is nationwide. So our matchmakers, we're spread out all over the country, and our clients are literally spread out all over the country as well.
Okay. Do you guys break it down to specific areas for people? Is it just based on what they're looking for?
You know what? Most of our clients who come to Luma, they're not looking to just find a match who happens to live close by. Most of them are looking to find the best match possible. And an awful lot of people that nowadays are open to moving, to relocating for the right person. And I would say probably at least 70% of our clients, they're open on location to finding their special person.
I think my settings with my search at my point in life is exactly that. I'm completely wide open. With some hesitation for international because that's a little more challenging. There's things you have to figure out. But I think, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that a lot of guys should be kind of broadening the horizon. We're in the internet world where everything is an option, but to have a company like you guys to isolate, maybe 5 or 6 great matches from different places and try to organize stuff and make sure everyone's vetted and cool and, it just seems like a very kind of unique thing. Are you helping people in that regard that are in potential? What if I found somebody through your service? I'm in New York, they're in LA. How do you make that work?
You know what? There's all sorts of different scenarios that happen. What I have found over the 26 years of doing this, true love never is going to be prevented from taking place because of distance.
Amen.
In other words, distance is not going to keep two people apart who are meant to be together. I have seen clients where, a lot of people have more than one home. A lot of our clients, even who come to us, they have homes in maybe a couple different homes in different states. And they say, you know what, I'm at the point in my life, you find me the right partner. I can move, I can relocate, I can buy a third home, I can make it happen. Just help me find her. That's my priority.
That makes sense.
Not everyone's in that situation. We have other clients who they work remotely. They literally can work anywhere as long as they have good internet, good cell phone connection. And they say, I have no problem moving and relocating for the right person.
Yeah, I definitely that makes sense. And when you do find the right person through the matchmaking service or whatever you're using to meet people, I think at that point you kind of have that discussion. I've learned a little bit about long distance relationships and studied some of this stuff, and I feel like after about 6 months to a year, and it's very unique, by the way, long distance relationships, because there is a detachment from the physical relationship when you're long distance, and the communication is highlighted like crazy. It's the best communication relationship you'll ever be in if you can really find the person that's devoted to making that work. And what I've learned from my own personal experiences, but also things that I've read, most long distance relationships have to move forward within like 6 months to a year because they're so intense communication wise. The feelings grow a lot faster and people have to do something. So if you're like a 0 to 100 kind of dating person, this might be the perfect agency for you because of this database and because of the wide variety of people that you could potentially meet, especially if you're open to traveling and trying to find someone outside of your own community, which is my big thing. I live in a smaller town in New York, so I'm not trying to date local, if that makes sense.
Right.
So it just makes sense to have a partner in that reach out program. This has been very cool, Christy. You definitely dropped a lot of good nuggets here in our conversation that I want to share with my audience. So I really appreciate you finding time to connect and hang out with us today.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you for listening to the show. Please take a minute to head over to www.savfair.com and subscribe to our publication.